Hi, I'm Rachael Idzior, Composite Materials Engineer and Technical Advisor here at WEST SYSTEM Epoxy. Shelf life and storage are two of the important things to our customers. Today we're going to be talking about just that. WEST SYSTEM epoxies are shelf stable for many years when stored properly, as opposed to other resin systems, especially polyester resins. This allows you to buy WEST SYSTEM epoxies in larger, more cost-effective quantities. A misconception is that the shelf life of epoxy is equated to the expiration date of epoxy. The shelf life of our products is not an expiration date. They don't simply go bad like the milk in your fridge can. The shelf life of our resins is 3 years, while the shelf life of our hardeners is 2 years. This is especially important when working on critical structural applications. You'll want to make sure that the product you're using is within that shelf life window. This not only applies to our 105 system, but also to our specialty epoxies, including G-Flex, 610, and our G5 5-minute epoxy. Our fillers and additives have an indefinite shelf life as long as they're stored properly to prevent contamination. As part of our quality management system, which is ISO 9001 certified, we retain a small sample of every resin and hardener that we make for the duration of its shelf life. So how do you tell how old the product is? Well, each product is identified with a lot number. Here we can see that the lot number is printed on the back side of the can. The lot number of this product starts with the product code. Here you can see 105 as the first 3 digits. That's because this product is our 105 resin. The 4th number in the code is the last digit of the year. Since this was made in 2025, you'll see a 5 here as the 4th number of the code. The last 3 digits of the code are the Julian calendar date. The Julian calendar date starts with 001 as January 1st and 365 as December 31st on a non-leap year. This can has the Julian calendar date as 203. That means that this batch was made on July 22nd, 2025. The final marking on the lot number is actually a letter. It gives you an indication as to which batch it was made from. This was the second batch of the day, so it's given the letter B as in Bravo. Once these products are past their shelf life date, we dispose of the retains. These products can still be used for general purpose applications, but we don't recommend them for structural applications anymore. As the products age, it can affect their properties. One thing to look for in the resin is that it may become thicker. You can warm the resin to thin it back down. You can also notice a color change in the hardener. This is normal and purely cosmetic. The hardeners will darken with age, and this is not reversible. Another thing to consider is that there is a small reduction in physical properties, which is why if you have any highly loaded applications, you'll want to make sure to use fresh material. We recommend mixing a small test batch of your resin and hardener to ensure that they cure properly, even if they're a little on the older side. We're going to use a mixing cup that's about 2 inches in diameter and mix up about 100 grams, which is about 4 fluid ounces of product. That's 4 pumps of resin and 4 pumps of hardener. Make sure to thoroughly mix the epoxy for at least 2 minutes and leave the mixing stick in the cup. Using this same mixing stick, you can see when the epoxy starts to gel in the cup, letting you know that the pot life has ended. You can then match the pot life that you have timed out from your test batch and match it to the technical data sheet. For our 105 resin and our 206 slow hardener, the pot life should be between 20 and 25 minutes at 72 degrees Fahrenheit. To ensure WEST SYSTEM resins and hardeners are good for a long time, you'll want to make sure to take the proper storage precautions. You'll want to store the products in a dry area where the temperature is below 100 degrees Fahrenheit and above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Fluctuations around 50 degrees Fahrenheit can cause the resin to crystallize. Crystallization can be identified by small clear crystals in the resin container or cloudy material. Crystallization is reversible. All you have to do is heat the resin to about 120 degrees Fahrenheit in a warm water bath. Occasionally stir it until the resin becomes clear and there are no visible crystals left. It's also important to seal the resin and hardener containers when not in use to prevent against contamination. The The hardener is especially susceptible to absorbing moisture out of the atmosphere. Leaving the 300 mini pumps in the resin and hardener containers is an effective form of storage. So to recap, when working on structurally critical applications, you'll want to make sure that you're working with fresh product within the shelf life. That's 3 years for resins and 2 years for hardeners. It's okay for more general purpose applications to work with older products, but you'll want to be aware that there's going to be a change in properties, especially around color and mechanical properties. Also keep in mind that you'll want to mix a small test batch before beginning any project to ensure that the product cures within the specified pot life. Finally, make sure to store the products properly for the best longevity.